shit out. So I've got shit to do. Got a lot to do, actually. Actually, I do have a lot to do. So I'm going to do this kind of quickly. This might actually end up being a short video, which is apparently very unusual for me. I've had this bizarre condition, this physical thing that's overtaken me where my face feels like all tight and rigid, and I like look in the mirror, it's like I'm smiling. And I have been for like 20 minutes now. And goddamn, I should be. Because I just watched The Tick. The new one. There is a new one. And we need to talk about this briefly. I mean, it's just, all these teeth are showing. It's crazy. It's bad. So, for the longest time, let's back up a little. Why not? Get a little time. I do have stuff to do, but got a little time to kill. So, Netflix started doing TV shows of their own, and it was revolutionary. Some of them were just amazing. House of Cards, which I've actually never seen, but I hear it's amazing. I love all the Netflix superhero stuff so far. Excuse me. It's an outswelling of joy, and it's making me burp, apparently. Yes, Emerson. Yes. So, but Netflix has kind of been dominating this. It's like they're in their own field of this video on demand programming. I actually can think of a few examples. Nothing that large, though. Nothing studio-sized. And that's what this is. Studio-sized video on demand with their own content and programming. There have always been Rooster Teeth, obviously, quite a few shows, most popularly Red vs. Blue. There's a bunch of others, but they tend to be more limited in scope. Red vs. Blue actually makes Rooster Teeth actually makes quite a few different shows, but really Red vs. Blue is their big thing. That's the thing they're famous for, and I don't think anything else they do quite approaches that in size and scope. That said, Netflix has been dominating, but Amazon has actually been trying its hand at getting in on this game on the direct, I'm going to call it a direct content provider, because that seems the most accurate way, because it is a little weird. It's a new thing. It is really a new thing. It's not cable, not broadcast television, it's not a movie, it's its own new thing, and it's amazing. I mean, some of the things that direct content providers are capable of are great. There are no questions asked. It strikes me they're free of a lot of constraints. I mean, if they want to put nudity or language or anything like that, they don't have to worry about getting it into some sort of weird tier. They're free to do what they want to do. And they don't have to have this, you must be this tall to enter, budget constraints. If Netflix wanted to do a really low budget show, and from what I understand, they have a couple, they can. They can make small budget, big budget, huge budget, middle, whatever they want to do. Fuck are my shoes? What else? Netflix has been dominating. Although recently I've heard that Netflix is actually at its lowest subscription level for a little while now. Like they're kind of not doing that great. Like they're not doing bad, but not as great as they could be, and that makes me sad. Because they make a lot of stuff I love, and I want them to have more money. Like, give them more money so they can make more awesome stuff. Damn it. Amazon has been trying to get in on that game for a long time. And not very successfully. There have been quite a few Netflix original series. None of them have really gelled. None of them have been that exciting. Like, nothing's starting a revolution on the Amazon side of things. Or has it? They've had for a while. Amazon has a different philosophy as far as creating content and videos. Different than Netflix, which will just pour money into a project and back it strongly. Even now with Amazon, it's kind of half-assed. I should explain. Amazon right now is doing a thing, which they've done in the past, where they say, hey, we're going to make a couple original series. We're sort of going to kind of fund them a little. And if you really like them, vote for them. If there's a huge outpouring of interest in it, then we'll make the thing. If not, nah, we'll maybe do nothing at all about it. Strike with fierceness, you know? I mean, just fortune favors the bold, and they've never been bold. Amazon has always been very cautious with their business approach. Very innovative, but they've approached every cool new thing they've done very cautiously, opening it up in only a few markets at a time. Even the Amazon Fresh thing, I mean, that's only in a few areas nationwide, from what I understand. As an aside, if you ever wonder why I put my face so damn close to this thing, it's because the camera, in my case, also happens to be the microphone, and my audio is shit. So that's why you can count the pores on my face, if you're curious. It's not like I'm just incredibly intense. No, I'm just trying to get to this microphone here. I'm just trying to project towards it. That's why, no other reason. Anyway, so, I have a lot to talk about, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, which I always do. Let's go. All right. Last part. And this will be the last part, because I have stuff to do, as I've mentioned. What I really wanted to talk about is the Amazon does this thing where they have a couple series, and you vote on them, basically. It's like, here's a couple new shows we're going to try out. And for some of them, I've seen they're very lackluster from the Amazon side. Like, we're kind of doing this thing. If you're interested in it, just check it out, whatever. You know, it's like, God damn it, guys, just fucking own it like a cock, man. Just get in there and own that shit. And they never seem to do that, even now. And that's a shame, because they have something worth crowing about. They totally do. And it's The Tick. It's a new version of The Tick, and it's not the live-action one. With, what is his name? Patrick Warburton, I think? Who, not to diss Patrick Warburton, he's an amazing actor, an amazing voice actor. I'm pleased as hell at every single thing he's ever done that I've seen that I can remember. This is different. And I mean that in every way. This is a really different approach to a superhero comedy. Superhero comedies exist. They're a thing. Venture Brothers has superhero stuff all the time, although it's not, strictly speaking, necessarily always a superhero-themed thing. They show up a lot. Superhero comedy. More than that, you have Super Mansions. What is his name? The guy who was Walter White in Breaking Bad. I'll remember it later. It doesn't matter. It's not my main point. Super Mansion's a thing that exists. It's an absolutely wonderful show. I love it to death. I'm eager to see season 2 of that. There are a few others. But generally, I think the Tick might have probably been the biggest budget real attempt at a big superhero comedy. And they've all had a different approach. And the Tick comic book, animated series, and the Patrick Warburton live action have shown that there are a couple different approaches to that, just with the Tick. I mean, and those three things I mentioned have very different tones and approaches to comedy. In the original comic, the Tick started off with the Tick, like an explosion, and a guy busts out of, a mysterious figure busts out of an insane asylum, and two characters who look just like Muppets era Professor Honey Bunsen and Beaker are like, oh God, like that is a very disturbed individual, and that's the introduction to the Tick, So the mysterious origin of the Tick is, in the original comic anyway, he's an escaped mental patient. And we just kind of go from there. In the comic, I haven't read them all, but from what I understand, things happen like you have the Roman god of the aqueduct at one point
moves a huge body of water, creating a lake in the cities, I believe, in Utah or somewhere. It's never greatly detailed, but it's Utah or Idaho or someplace in the middle of nowhere. Creating a mountain turns into an island and near the city, because you get how that works. The TV series was more kid friendly, a little goofier, mostly. Wonderfully written, a great series. The live action one showed that, to me anyway, that making characters this, not just funny characters, damn weird characters. The characters in The Tick are strange. I mean, they're not just silly, they're weird. And then some of them are full on weird. Like the sewer urchin, an Aquaman like figure who lives in the sewer, who's a stinky urchin. He dresses like a sea urchin. And I mean, that's just a strange combination of things for a single character. Dinosaur Neil, who is dating Arthur's sister. I mean, just strange characters. But seeing them, it's funny and entertaining. Not just the silly juxtaposition of just weird characters acting in real life, and comedy. There's comedy dialogue that you could remove from the superhero thing; it would still be funny. There are great moments in the live action one that we saw last, the one with Patrick Warburton, where it's like, that's a funny ass line. Batman had that character had just a shit ton of funny lines. But this one that Amazon has just created. I just saw the pilot, and it's weird, man. And I would never have imagined that someone taking the concept of the Tick and trying to inject. If you told me you were trying to make the Tick, but like, I want to make the Tick, but it needs to be more serious and realistic, I'd say you were crazy. And that's kind of a route they went, and it works. It really works. It worked for me anyway. It's so strange. In this series, I'm so not giving any spoilers away for this one. I'm enforcing discipline on myself, because you should see this thing, and because it's awesome, and I want everyone to see this thing, and I want everyone to vote for it, because it's great. I would be ludicrously happy if this thing got made into a regular series and had several seasons. I don't know if it's going to end up being good. That's the strength of the writing, acting, and so on. So far, the writing I've seen is pretty good. Is very good, actually, and different. It's different than anything I've seen that's even remotely like this. The acting's excellent. By and large, I thought the acting was very good. Mostly, it's played straight. Like, in a comedy, even characters who aren't supposed to be funny are generally have a exaggerated demeanor. If someone's a nerd, they're really a nerd. If someone's like kind of an uptight guy who works in like a coffee shop or something, they're kind of at the very least they step it up a few notches. This show, no, they play everything straight. Everything is played very straight. So it ends up with weird humor and very very dry humor, and it's played like a serious freaking drama. It's so, God, I don't know how to describe this. The character of Arthur, no spoilers. Fuck you if you want spoilers. You're not getting them from me. You'll have to torture me first, motherfucker. Yes, Emerson, I agree. Anyway, no spoilers, but Arthur is shown as a mentally disturbed person. Like he's wrestling with mental illness. And if you're familiar with this series, with any of the original iterations of the Tick, you're going, what? Like, you may have a very negative reaction to that. And I was like, I didn't have a negative reaction, but I do. Like, it is like arched a brow with me. Like, what direction are they going in with this? And the Tick is amazing, and everything so far
This is not a spoiler, but we do see the Terror. The Terror is a character. If you go to IMDb, you'll see that. And the Terror does have his henchmen straight up murder superheroes as a flashback. In the past, the Terror straight up murders superheroes. It's a silly costume. It's plays off the silliness potentially of a superhero genre thing, but people get murdered. I mean, people die. We watch several deaths and trauma. I mean, there's a reason Arthur is the way he is. And I'm wondering, is there a reason the Tick is the way he is? I mean, by God. It's an odd direction to go in. And it's a good one. It's the problem with Patrick Warburton. Is his name Patrick Warburton? I'm just going to assume it is. I'm sorry, Patrick. I can't remember your name very well. It's me. I'm terrible with names. The problem with the live-action Tick, the last iteration we saw, is that if you're really going for full-on silliness, like how goofy can we make this thing, you're going to burn through storylines fast. Because what works in a comic strip, or even a cartoon, tends to be slow. Like a joke can last for several panels, if not a full page or two. Whereas in a TV show, that material's gone in seconds. What is his name? The guy who did Dilbert once commented, like, yeah, we put my stuff from the comic strip into the Dilbert cartoon, but we'd go through like a year of my jokes in like an episode. Same problem with a live-action Tick. This one is, instead of just trying to hammer as many silly jokes from the show or from the comic book, the animated show and the live-action show into it, it has real, genuine drama and human emotion, and it's a strange direction to go for the Tick, and it's great. I loved it. I can't recommend it more. Go see it, vote for it. Awesome, seal of approval. My recommendations, my reviews work like this. 1, what are the odds you're going to see this and not like it? Okay, going through that real quick. Actually, give me a second. I need a drink. I'm getting dry and talking too much. Alright. I said that was going to be the last bit, and it's not. Okay, my review. The way my review works, what are the odds you're going to watch this and not like it? It's a great question. I just posited for myself. I think it's possible that if you really liked the previous live action and the cartoon and the comic, you might react negatively to this because it's very different from those. If you want more of the same, you're not going to get it. Put that out of your mind. This is not that. This is very different. This is its own thing. It's the Tick thematically in a very different direction. So maybe I think there's a 1 in 4 chance. Let's say 1 in 4. Like, there's a decent odds, actually. So I think there's a 3/4 chance that you'll like this. There's a 1 in 4 chance, I think, that's just my arbitrary random thing, that you'll react negatively to it. Even if you can appreciate while it's good, or you might even like it a little bit, you will have that sort of, this isn't what I wanted. Like, you had it in your mind what this should be, and I promise, it's not that. Whatever is in your mind that you think is you're going to get out of this, don't go in like that, with that expectation. This is not the old. This is a new Tick, very different from the previous ones, and that's what's cool about it. It's given itself more room to breathe. It's given itself more. I mean, by taking a dramatic turn in addition to the comedy. The comedy is almost like a dark comedy because of the seriousness of the rest of the show. Which I love. I love dark comedy. Give me the most vile, cruel. Oh, I love that shit. And I could throw in so many spoilers right now, but I won't, and I want to so bad. Oh, I want to talk about this. Maybe I'll make a spoiler video too, because this show warrants 2 videos. It totally does. The other half of my review is, would I see it again? If I had the video setup downstairs. Like right now, I can't watch movies downstairs in my living room, and I have people coming over. If I had it set up, and I have enough time to maybe set it up before people show up, I might just insist that they watch it. And I don't think it would take much for them to like kind of to fall into this. It's not that long. It's a half-hour show with credits. It's like 20 minutes, 24 minutes. So it's a short show, which is nice too. It's good. So would I watch this again? Shit, I'm thinking if I had the time, I'd be watching it right now. I want to watch it right now. I'm probably going to watch this again and make a spoiler-rich video because there's a lot to talk about. It's a great goddamn show. Go watch it. I'm out. I got to go get my shit together so I can watch the Tick again. I'm out.